It is Tuesday, and it is the 11th of November. Astrology time here, and the friggin' tech gremlins are taking over, let me tell you. Went to record, this is the second try because the computer decided to forget my interface existed. Interface, yes, that's a great word for the way of getting my words into the computer to get them to you. And for some reason, it just decided to, it doesn't exist. Had to unplug it and plug it back in. How many times have you heard that, right? Have you turned it on, turned it off? Yeah. This is the first time it's happened in, I can't remember the last time that it may have just dropped this totally without actually physically moving it or trying to change something around. So, welcome to Mercury Retrograde, guys. Now, 11/11, make a wish. I wish, no, you can't wish that Mercury Retrograde would go away. It's not going to happen. It just takes time. We have to work through it, right? And as we're working through it, let's talk about today, because there's only one lunar aspect today, okay? And that occurs in the first 21 minutes at 12:21, okay? Other than that, we've got a day long in Leo. Oh, perish the thought. Oh, the words, the drama. Oh, my goodness. It's like the beginning of Mystery or something. Oh. Okay, anyway. Look, this is a day of questions with no real answers. Like, why did my interface just decide to not work? I don't know. Look, after yesterday's tech woes, and I'm tempted to call it a full-blown fiasco, and this is just a continuation of it, right? But this actually happens on Tuesday. But, look, there were indications during the day before that there may be some tech issues, particularly with GPS I tend to use, right? The Waze. But boy, what a place for my GPS not to work today. Yep, out in the middle of the boondocks, just driving around. All of a sudden, it's like, where am I going? Wait, the map stopped working. The voice stopped talking, everything stopped, and I was in the middle of nowhere, and I mean nowhere. West Newbury, Massachusetts, nowhere. Stuck between that and Haverhill. Just like, where am I and why am I here? Okay. So, I knew why I was there. I didn't know where I was at. It was raining out. It was very strange and uncomfortable. When it finally came back, I ended up going about 5 miles out of my way. Not too bad. And then it happened again. And then it happened again. Driving out to my last stop, and the GPS all of a sudden decides that I'm going to a place I was at a couple days ago. I don't know how that happened. That could have been just a fat finger putting it down or something like that changed the route without me noticing. Don't know. But it didn't have an impact, and that's okay. But yesterday felt like one big technical fail burger, okay, for lack of a better word. All right. So, look, this is a focused moon in Leo. And let me tell you, when Leo is in the spotlight, it feels like it's in the crosshairs, right? It's just like, oh my goodness, everything is happening to me. It's so much drama, right? And feel is the operative word here. Operative, right? Operative word, as in opera. Okay? Dramatic, loud, emotional. Oh! Did I mention the drama part? Oh, okay. Anyway, Jupiter's retrograde today at 11:41 a.m. on the East Coast, Eastern Standard Time. Let's keep that standard, right? Yeah, I like that. Look, Jupiter retrogrades. They're said to affect large animals, education, speculation, and religion. Right? So let's throw travel in there too, just for the fun of it. Okay? And with a little extra spiciness for the Jupiter-ruled signs. Those are Sagittarius and Pisces, right? Co-ruler of Pisces, Neptune and Jupiter. Okay, so things are definitely going to feel bigger today, right? Like, big feelings and big drama and big everything if you don't just let it go and go with the flow, right? Choose words carefully. Today's keyword is operative. Now, the color is persimmon. And you feeling like you're being thrown off track? Are you feeling that? Oh, it's happening to me, right? Not every day is yours to own, and not every path will lead to blinding success. Here's a news flash, right? We all walk different paths. We all have different loves, different desires, different passions, yet we walk under the same sunlight and moonlight, okay? The stars in the sky may be different depending upon where we live, northern or southern hemisphere, but we're all one species coexisting under the same heavenly vault, okay? The Jupiter retrograde highlights the different ways that these events will hit individuals, because with Jupiter in Cancer, this hits home. Don't be in too much of a hurry to change things up. Boom, there it is. Don't be in a hurry. You will find ways to mess things up if you're in a hurry, right? You're going to jeopardize the very stability and structure that you're trying to find if you go too fast. Now, my GPS experience was not unique to me alone. And I know this, right? Because most likely a satellite issue, right? Those solar flares of the last few days are triggering more than just auroras. There's radio blackouts. There's satellites that are being taken out. Who knows? Look, I saw, that's Mercury retrograde, right? Yeah, that's Mercury retrograde, the communications, the flares, the ins and outs, the outages. Mercury retrograde. I saw a 6-car accident that had just occurred in the northbound travel lane today. Still smoking, right? All the cars just sitting there. Some of them had their flashers on. How do you think their day was going? That's Mercury retrograde. Travel. Mercury, right? To some extent, navigation. Travel is Sagittarius. Long travel, short travel, neighborhoods and the like. That's Mercury. That's more like a Gemini thing, right? So use caution. That's Mercury retrograde in action. You have a backup plan and know that it just isn't you, even though the moon in Leo feels like it's all about, So allow. I already said that. But please do that. Allow extra time for travel and make frequent stops to reduce the chance of fatigue and operator error on your part. Now, finally, how do we clear this up? What are we going to do? Let's get home, light some incense, and ask the moon to help lift our spirits. Document your moods and feelings more often. That may help too. Mine are documented here for all of you to see and witness. And that is what I have for you. In 1820, the Mayflower Compact was signed by the Pilgrims, that's what the collective word for them is, at Cape Cod, establishing the first framework of government in the territory that is now the United States of America. It was basically an accord of everybody to say, hey, let's make up some rules, They didn't get to the burning witches part till later on, but, that came with some fun stuff, too. And our birth is Joseph Gilbert Hamilton. He is a doctor, a physician, and he's a pioneer of using radioactive isotopes in disease treatment and diagnosis. That's putting it nicely, okay? Born in Waverly, Massachusetts, and he died in 1957, so 1907 and 1957, 50 years old. I see a pattern here, like a Marie Curie thing, right? Exactly. This is what happens. He was active on the Manhattan Project, which brought us bigger and better bombs, right? And he basically studied the effects of radiation on the human body, on some unwilling participants. Now, to his credit, he did write a memo, and when he resigned from the Atomic Energy Commission, which replaced the Manhattan Project, he did say that it kind of like he didn't really say it in the parlance of the day, but the meaning of what he said, he wrote a memo saying that, by performing experiments with radiation on humans, it kind of gives it a Buchenwald vibe, referring to the concentration camp, the infamous concentration camp. So, yeah, they were keenly aware of that back in the day. So, and then leukemia, he just exposed himself to too much radiation. So there you go. Then exposed others to radiation as well. So that's the dark side of some research there. So that's what I have for you. Dark side to everything today, right? Oh, it's so dramatic. All right, so anyway, let's recap. The color is persimmon, and the keyword is operative. Okay, not that operative, but you know what I mean. Okay, and today is a 4. So thank you all for joining me. Appreciate and love every single one of you. Happy astro-catting.